Good evening, and a warm welcome to this special day of graduation, fellowship, and celebration. This is one of the most important days in our academic calendar. It's a day when we come together as a community with our graduands, their families and friends, to celebrate their academic achievements. It's also our opportunity as a community to say thank you to them and to another special person for their contribution to the RCS. I now invite the Chair of the Board of Governors, Professor Dorothy Meal, to address the congregation.
Thank you, Principal. We'll now begin the formal elements of our ceremony. By virtue of the powers granted by the Privy Council, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland is this day holding a congregation for the conferment of degrees. We also, on behalf of the Board of Governors, confer fellowships. Our ceremony now begins with the conferment of a fellowship, and it's my honour, on behalf of the Board, to sponsor Carol Main for the award of Fellowship of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. Governors and Fellows of the Conservatoire, members of the Academic Board, graduands, invited guests. Carol Main is someone who has genuinely embodied the value and importance of music, not only in her own personal life and music making, but also throughout her career. In her early days, she studied music and literature at the University of Edinburgh, where she also took part in many music-related extracurricular activities, joining the University Symphony Orchestra, Opera Club, Experimental Arts Society, and the University Renaissance Singers. She was also a part-time singing student here at RCS when it was still called RSAMD. Once she graduated, Carol continued her deep involvement with all things musical, most notably as the founding director of Live Music Now Scotland. She has been responsible for the overall management of the Scottish branch since it was set up nearly 40 years ago, and has led on the international development of Live Music Now for the whole of the UK, as well as the Live Music Now International Cooperation Group, whose activities include exchanges of artists with branches in Austria, France, Germany, and the Netherlands, sharing best practice, supporting new and emerging branches, and raising the profile of the scheme internationally. I imagine many of you will already know about the work of Live Music Now, but for those who don't, the organisation exists to support young musicians who have exceptional potential to develop in their musical careers, as well as bringing music to an ever-widening range of people and communities who might otherwise not have access to it. Concerts in prisons, schools, and care homes, for example. In her time as director, she's taken musical performances from Orkney to Abu Dhabi, set up workshops in primary schools in Dumfries and Galloway and for street children in Mumbai, and organised concerts and group sessions for those living with learning disabilities, mental health problems, or dementia. As well as her important roles with Live Music Now, Carol has also contributed very widely to the musical life of Scotland through her membership of a number of boards of cultural organisation. She is or has been a board member at St Mary's Music School, of Creative Scotland, Vice Chair of the Traditional Music Forum, and a board member of the European Federation of National Youth Orchestras and the new National Centre for Music. Carol has also served on the boards of the Association of British Orchestras and Voluntary Arts Scotland. She joined the board of the National Centre for Music just recently and is a past chair of both Enterprise Music Scotland and the Hebrides Ensemble. Carol has also worked as a freelance journalist, mainly as founding classical music editor of The List, as a music critic for The Scotsman and a contributor of Classical Music magazine, and branching out from music as a restaurant reviewer for The List Eating and Drinking Guide. As I'm sure you'll agree from this list of all her wonderful contributions, it was very fitting that Carol's work was recognised by the award of an MBE for Services to Music in 2015. Here at the Conservatoire, we have particular reason to recognise her work with the award of a fellowship, since alongside all these other roles advancing and supporting music and musicians, she's found the time to serve loyally and to great effect as a governor here. She joined our board in April 2014 and demitted office after the maximum 9 years earlier this year. The role of governor involves giving your time freely to support the Conservatoire's staff and students and to act as an ambassador for RCS externally. And serving for the maximum 9-year term is not only a major commitment, but also quite an achievement. Carol has always been a very active member of our board and has brought her wide experience, many connections, and huge expertise to our discussions over the years. Since I've been a governor, and particularly as chair, I've always found her to be a wonderful colleague and source of wise counsel. And I know our much-missed previous chair, Nick Koonsberg, was a huge fan of Carol's and was delighted to have her expertise and support on the board. In particular, through her long-standing role as convener of the board's Health, Safety and Wellbeing Committee, she's led on important work that made a real difference to many aspects of the Conservatoire's operations and helped to set up several initiatives to enhance the well-being of staff and students. Her collaborative approach to enabling the transition to our new People and Culture Committee has ensured a smooth continuation and extension of her valuable work. We're indebted to her for all the time and energy she's given to RCS and look forward to keeping her as a close friend and supporter as she joins our distinguished body of fellows. In the name of the Board of Governors, I therefore have great pleasure in conferring Fellowship of the Royal Conservatoire upon you, Carol Main.
My goodness, I don't think I've ever experienced anything quite like this. Thank you very, very much indeed. In making this address, I would rather obviously, I think, like to say many congratulations to everyone who is graduating today. It really is a great privilege and pleasure to share this very special day with you and your families and friends. It also is an absolute delight and joy to be awarded this fellowship of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. And I would like to thank Dorothy Meal, my sponsor, and everyone who's made this possible. In making this address, I thought I would approach it a bit like an exam question and look to the question and try and answer it from there. So the guidance was to share experience, values, and advice. So I'm going to make it in 3 parts around these 3 things. And when I was thinking about it, actually what came to me was quite spontaneous in what these words kind of sparked off. So the first one is experience. And it's the experience of doing well. You've all done well, or you wouldn't be here. And that doesn't come without working on it and keeping going, but it's also about others and how they want you to do well. It might not seem like it, but people are generally on your side and positively wanting you to succeed. And of course, you've also had the pandemic to deal with as part of your studies, so you've done amazingly well to have come through all of that and be graduating today. So thinking about that student experience took me back to when I first came to what was the RSAMD, as Dorothy said, and that was in the, I was going to say the old building, it's the older building because this is probably an old building too now, but I was a 16-year-old auditioning to be a part-time student of singing, and that was going to sit alongside my studies at Edinburgh University. And I remember going into that building, even now, And the people who greeted me and met me were really encouraging, and there was this feeling that they wanted me to pass the audition. There was criticism. I remember that they thought I didn't pronounce my German very well in the Brahms song I was singing, and I probably can't do it very well now. But it was constructive criticism, and it was very kindly. So there will be no doubt times when the going gets tough, but take the time to allow yourselves to reflect on your achievements and what they mean, and to think of all the people who are on side with you, whether that's your family and friends today or new people that you're going to meet along the way as your careers develop. So the second word of guidance was values. And although I thought I knew what I wanted to say around this, I also thought I should check out what people generally regarded as values these days. So looked online, and the first website I found was called Soul Salt, which had 102 examples of different values. I didn't look any further than their introduction. But the introduction was, do you want to live a life of integrity in which your actions align with your personal list of values and beliefs? Great, you're in the right place to begin living true. So from that introduction to Soul Salt, it's the bit about living true that seems to me to be the most essential, especially for performers in the arts. It's about the authentic voice as communication. What you are doing through your artistic practice is expression of emotion, and that's through your own artistic and musical identity. One of our Live Music Now performers summed up this part of her learning from Live Music Now, from her work with us, by saying that it taught her that it wasn't her at the centre of the performance, but the audience. And it's actually a symbiotic relationship between composer or writer, the performer, and the audience. And that can be incredibly powerful. My main experience is, as Dorothy explained, through music. So apologies to those from other artistic disciplines, but I'm sure that there are similarities. So just yesterday, I was at a Live Music Now concert. We call it Tea and Tunes. And it brought about 80 people together, older people living alone or with someone with dementia or in a care home in Kirkcaldy in Fife, which is actually where I grew up. And the idea is that they come together to share in this live experience. This will be memorable for all of you because it's a live experience and we're all sharing it together. And that is so important in performances of music and indeed drama. So we had a jazz trio who I think were probably all graduates of here, maybe two out of the three graduates of here. And they performed without any music stands, which is a real benefit to that kind of performance. The communication is there with the audience from the word go. There's no barrier. And through that communication with the audience, they're really engaging with people and getting something that can be very deep and profound through the power of music. The care worker from the group that had dementia from the care home, she said that they go back to the care home and they forget everything else in their lives, or many of the things that are going on, but they remember the music and they talk about the music afterwards. Often, she said, for weeks. We do these concerts on a monthly basis. So it's really, really engaging with people. And I think along with that, it seems to bring an understanding of the world around us, which can be so often quite perplexing. So social media today, Facebook, reminded me that 10 years ago today, I was in Abu Dhabi, working with a flute and percussion duo in Live Music Now, who are both graduates of RCS, and children with a wide range of special needs. A lot of them have complex learning disabilities as well as physical disabilities. and neurodiversities. And for all of them, that week of workshops with music really connected in a way that nothing else could. As one teacher said, music catches at the core of the child. So they may not be able to speak, they may not have very much mobility, sometimes they don't have much sight or hearing, but somehow music is really getting through to people. Live Music Now was founded by Yehudi Menuhin, the legendary violinist, and what he said is music is the language which penetrates most deeply into the human spirit. And I am very, very lucky in seeing that happen on a daily basis. The third guidance word was advice. So you've probably had quite a lot of advice. You've maybe had too much advice. I'm just going to add one thing to that long list. And that is to take the opportunities that come your way when they crop up. You might not be expecting them, but take them. When I was asked to join the Health, Safety and Wellbeing Committee, I have to be extremely honest and say I thought it sounded a bit dull and I wasn't really very keen. But I kind of smiled and said, yes, of course I will. So I took that opportunity, and although that sounds unlikely, apart from the performances that go on here, convening that Health, Safety and Wellbeing Committee was the thing that I enjoyed most about being a governor. It was an opportunity for me to learn something new, to learn a lot new actually, and to learn how health and safety underpins absolutely everything that goes on here. More than anything else, we can't do it without good health and safety. And to appreciate the enormous effort and knowledge and skills that go into making this a safe place for you to study and for people to work and people to visit. And so, as a governor on the board, I felt that my role was not only convening that committee, but to take to the board how important this work was and to try and engage the board in this topic, which is not always seen as particularly exciting. But hopefully, as Dorothy said, have made a difference there. And we have, or the Conservatoire, I say we, I guess it's a sort of royal we, I do feel part of here, we have a new way of taking that forward. So you've all done really fantastically well with formal learning, but it is so much more than a cliche that learning is for life, and taking opportunities like that as they arise can lead to exciting, rewarding new things that you just wouldn't have come across otherwise. So be open to new opportunities, embrace them wholeheartedly, and you never know, one day you might be here getting a fellowship. So that's the 3 points. That was the guidance that I had. But in just summing up, I'd quite like to go back to the first one, and that was how, when I started to think about what I was going to say, I had things that came into my mind quite spontaneously. So I think it's really important to do your prep and to do your homework, but to be spontaneous and not to overthink things and try to have a bit of fun with whatever you're doing. Life is for enjoying, and all of you have not just what it takes to make your lives more enjoyable, but through your artistic achievements that are being celebrated today, the lives of very many others. I wish you all extremely well in what comes next. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce a performance by Rosen Lavery and Anna Mickles in celebration of the work of our newest fellow, Carol Main.
celebrating your graduation ceremony with you all. Having both graduated from RCS ourselves and me still being a student here and Anna being staff, we know how exciting it is and also how absolutely terrifying it is to be up there. But just a massive, massive well done to all of you for getting here. We'd like to say a special congratulations, however, to the wonderful Carol Main, who is our director at Live Music Now Scotland. We're delighted to see your hard work being recognised. We'd now like to sing 2 songs for you. The first we thought might be quite nice leading up to spooky season, a wee Scottish song called Halloween Sang, and then we're following this up with a song that you will all know and love, I'm sure, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Somebody
directors of the schools to present their graduates for their awards.
In the name of the School of Drama, Dance, Production and Film, and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Master of Arts in Acting, Classical and Contemporary Text. George Airy. Kathleen Bonnell. Ashutosh Churasia. Lucy Doig. Leanne Jones. Thomas Kingman. Sophia Rosenfulati. Sasha Schinder. Julia Martine Vredenberg. Rory Wilson. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Master of Arts in Directing, Classical and Contemporary Text. Fonita Amran. Katie Thompson. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Master of Arts in Musical Theatre, Musical Directing. John Hodgson. Samuel McDonald. Gail Xiao Jie Te. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Master of Arts in Musical Theatre Performance. Liam Bradbury. Sophie Dean. Lindsay Devers. Mairead Dunsmore. Olga Evagoru. Taylor Frazina. Joanna Gray. Jesse Gustafson Walter. Sophia Holmes. Grigory Medovnikov. Zachary Peterson. Claire Robinson. Thomas Seymour. Grace Stech. Lauren Troy. Deshaun Valentino Vegas. Williamina Wilson. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you this graduate who has been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts Acting, Olaya Chicarelli Bermudez. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you this graduate who has been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts Musical Theatre, Grace Binge.
In the name of the School of Music and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you this graduate who has been found worthy to receive the award of Artist Diploma in Music, Eddie Bedencourt. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree Master of Arts. Joanna Chetita. In performance, Valerie. Anthony Connolly. Gabriela Tiaros. Chi Pong Lee. Bernice Samut Attard. In traditional music, Gregor Black. Chloe Taylor. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree Master of Music in Opera. Marie Desiree Caillou. In performance, Tracy Leung. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you this graduate who has been found worthy to receive the degree Bachelor of Education in Music, Dorothée Sophia Charlotte Ness. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree Bachelor of Music in Jazz with honours, Douglas Brownlee. In performance with honours of the first class, Andrew Murphy. In performance with honours of the second class, Kirsty Campbell. Suzanne Godet. Lachin Kingong Perry. In traditional music with honours of the first class, Cameron Lawson. Iona Reid. On behalf of the partnership comprising the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland and the National Piping Centre of Scotland, and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you this graduate who has been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Music in Traditional Music, Piping. Rory Buxton.
Principal, in the name of the Directorate of Fair Access and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Master of Education in Learning and Teaching in the Arts. Judith Brown. Claire Hibbert. Gemma Lockhart. Kirsten Clarn. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the Postgraduate Certificate in Learning and Teaching in the Arts. Merlin Curry. Sharon McCann. Principal, with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I request that you confer the appropriate degree upon those graduates listed as in absentia in the programme.
I confer those degrees in absentia. Congratulations to the class of 2023. Bravo. You all worked really hard to get here, but there's some people that helped you along the way. Some of them might be here in this audience, some of them might be watching online, some of them might be thinking about you. I'm thinking about your parents, your carers, your loved ones, your siblings, all those who helped you get to where you are now. Can I ask you to be upstanding and thank them? Thank you. And I want to add my congratulations to our honorary fellow, Carol Main. It's been an honor to serve with you as one of our key governors, and we're in full admiration of the work you do with live music now with so many of our alumni. Thank you. The world can change in an instant, and there are times we all feel when the tumult or the pounding surf of change can seem too much. We can get caught in currents, we can lose our direction, we can feel insignificant, and we can feel fearful. It's at these very times that our capacity to make and share art, music, dance, drama, film, or production becomes a single point of light, a compass of, even dare I say it, hope. Our honorary fellow Carol Main has devoted herself to the Scottish version of Yehudi Menuhin's dream to share music widely. Menuhin believed that music would bring comfort, healing, and delight to those who could be brought to it via his trained musician workforce. There's a truth in the arts that can be lacking in the other affairs of humans. There's the ability to live vicariously in another's shoes that literature, film, or drama provide. There are patterns of notes, chords, and rhythm that move beyond our ability to speak and transcend language. We transcend gravity in our dance. We invent and solve problems in the most beautiful and yet practical ways through our work in production. The idea of universality, that we are one species on this fragile blue planet in a small corner of the known galaxy, is one that only art can express. So much right now is working effectively to divide us. Role models are few and far between. Social media at times has produced conflicting patterns of groupthink that only serve to keep us addicted and anxious. It's especially at times like these that the gathering power of art comes into its own. I find it an ultimate paradox that as a species we're capable of pulling one another down, othering or destroying one another, and yet as a species we make performing arts that ennoble the human spirit and celebrate the best that we can be, and provide one of the only things outside sports that draw us together and without the need of an opposing team. The learning and experience you gained here may not immediately solve the world's burning problems, but your commitment to work in and share your art will touch more people than you can possibly imagine. Your work will inspire them, heal them, motivate them, and that light that we make through our art will gradually expand. To know that you've added even a small amount of good into a hurting world is a noble calling. Be proud of your work at the RCS, and please know you will always be part of our extended family of graduates and artists. Congratulations. This congregation is now concluded. Please be upstanding for our graduates.